and gentlemen, thank you.
I would like now to discuss a bit more about, how does it look like, the National Action Plan. And I would like to discuss in particular with Georgia, because Georgia is the first country that adopted the National Action Plan, and now they're in the phase, of the implementing it. And therefore, I would like to ask to Mr. Iraklī Beraia, so what are the priorities of your National Action Plan, and what is the expected impact?
I'd like to draw your attention to the fact that Georgian Action Plan has been developed in response to the challenges Georgia has been facing in that direction as a result of the interagency consensus between the members of the National CBRN Council in close cooperation with our international partners. The action plan has been developed around four main directions, such as prevention, detection, preparedness, response, and the cross-cutting activities. The action plan is composed of 30 priorities, and which are expanded into 118 actions. In the part of preparedness, prevention, the National Action Plan pays particular attention to the comprehensive analysis of the entire situation in the CBRN field, elaboration of respective scenarios, as well as assessing the risks of facilities and activities, and to categorize those facilities in accordance with the activities they implement and with the risks they pose to the society. Particular attention in the field of prevention is devoted to the safety and security of CBRN materials, CBRN sites, which includes improvement of the physical protection measures of those sites and security plans, which are aimed at preventing illegal possession of those substances, as well as their accidental release in the environment. Particular attention is devoted also to the effective management of the system of the radioactive sources, as well as especially particular attention is devoted to effective waste management mechanisms. For effective prevention, particular emphasis is laid on improvements and rehabilitation of CBRN facilities infrastructure, as well as special emphasis is devoted to increasing security culture of personnel working at those sites and with those substances, which includes training respective personnel, as well as elaborating standard operating procedures for the people that work with those substances. Particular attention is also devoted to reduction of the potential misuse of CBRN sciences, especially of the biosciences, and this priority is broken down into permanent evaluation of the clearance criteria and updating it whenever needed, as well as to conduct permanent verification of personnel that have contact with those substances and that work at those sites. The action plan's important component is the part of detection, which lays particular emphasis on improving detection capabilities of the responsible agencies, equipping them with respective equipment, elaborating for them respective manuals, handbooks, etc., as well as to strengthen detection capabilities at the state border. This is a very important priority, as border security makes an important part of our national security agenda, and to further strengthen those capabilities are of the vital importance. Our border capabilities, especially of the CBRN detection, have been very well enhanced through the assistance programs from our American partners. All border crossing points are equipped with proper detection devices, and we need to further enhance the capabilities of detection at the green border and the blue border, because there's likelihood that violent non-state actors and terrorists will always attempt to smuggle those substances through the remote areas rather than through the border crossing points. So particular attention is devoted to the detection capabilities as well. Concerning preparedness and response, a very important component here is to elaborate particular action plans to further assess and conduct the analysis of joint response plans in order to reveal gaps in those plans, including the joint response plans to CBRN accidents for high-risk public places and events, and to further make improvements and refining of those plans. It also includes the priorities to further enhance capabilities of responders in terms of the equipment, training, and the joint field exercises, tabletop exercises are meant here, and very important part of increasing preparedness and response to CBRN incidents is to increase public awareness to those incidents and public preparedness to those accidents. According to the cross-cutting priorities of the action plan, Georgia pays particular attention to enhancing international cooperation with partner states and international partners, especially with our strategic partners, to implement the projects within the technical cooperation format with International Atomic Energy Agency, and refining the legislative framework, because effective CBRN risk mitigation should be based on effective legislative framework, and Georgia has implemented significant activities in that part, which I'm going to draw your attention shortly once talking about the impact of the CBRN National Action Plan. After listing all these priorities, one would ask a question: are tangible results, is a tangible impact to be expected? I would definitely say yes. 7 months from the date of the adoption of the action plan, we have quite important tangible results in implementing our national action plan in Georgia, especially when we talk about the effective management system for radioactive sources, effective management system especially of the radioactive waste. We have submitted to the Parliament of Georgia 2 laws, one law on radiation and nuclear safety, and another law is the law on management of radioactive waste. Both laws are pending approval at the Parliament of Georgia for the time being. They provide effective mechanisms for management of system of CBRN materials, especially RN materials, and they provide for establishment of the new independent body for managing that system. From January 1, 2016, according to the provisions of the law, Nuclear and Radiation Safety Authority, Safety Agency, will be established with radioactive waste management functions. Law also provides for that within 1 year from the adoption, new radioactive waste management strategy with its action plan should be elaborated by respective government institutions. Another important impact that I would like to mention about the action plan is that, as mentioned here before by the Deputy Minister, is that it provides a tailored coordination mechanism between local authorities in Georgia and between donors and international organizations, partner states as well. So respectively, I'd like to bring your attention to the fact that United States European Command in its document Partner Activities Program priorities for Georgia for the financial year 2015 through 2019 has put the activities that are in compliance and in support for the implementing Georgia's National CBRN Action Plan. And the document states that one of the main objectives of those priorities are to support the implementation of the Georgia's National CBRN Action Plan. Particular emphasis is laid on increasing Georgia's detection capabilities with a focus on interdiction on the border crossing points, as well as on the green and the blue borders, as well as on the consequence management and developing Georgia's exercise capabilities to counter CBRN threats. In the bio case, a very important fact to mention is that as priorities have been elaborated for the action plan and activities spelled out in respective parts of the plan, we had great support from the United States government, namely for the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Department of Select Agents and Toxins. Their experts visited Georgia, and together with their Georgian counterparts, we have elaborated a guidance for development and the implementation of the national system to provide oversight of biosecurity and biosafety institutions in Georgia. This is a very important component which addresses nearly 11 priorities mentioned in the action plan. apart from these specific examples, there are a number of legislative amendments that are being constantly adopted in Georgia as a result of adoption of the sectional plan, laws, bylaws, government decrees, etc. Trainings and tabletop and field exercises are constantly taking place. So this is shortly about the priorities, what we have put in the action plan and what we have achieved in terms of impact, in terms of results within the 7 months after the adoption of the document. Thank you.
Thank you, Irakli. And indeed, thank you also for explaining so clearly the impact of the National Action Plan. And your country is like the pioneer, since it is the first that completed National Action Plan. I think it will be very important also to see for all the other countries what will be the the implementation and how to be possible to measure and evaluate how the implementation is progressing.